Perth Glory, on the other hand, they're trying to avoid becoming the 5th team in W League history to go through an entire campaign without winning a game. And they have 2 opportunities tonight and then also here in Melbourne on Sunday to try and avoid a bit of unwanted history. This is the 2nd time the W League has come out here. It wasn't a great first showing from Melbourne City a couple of weeks ago. They lost 4-0 to Western Sydney Wanderers. They'll be hoping to at least end the season by posting their first win here at the venue. And to the teams, Sam Johnson comes in. He's been in and out of the side. The American has also started games on the bench, but tonight she gets her opportunity back as one of the starters. Leah Davidson to her right there. And both teams are going to be posing in front or behind a banner saying, "We're behind you, Stoddy." Rebecca Stott, of course, championship winner with Melbourne City, also played for Melbourne Victory, New Zealand international. She has her own cancer battle against stage 3 lymphoma. And it's not just these 2 teams, it's the entire W League community that's behind you, Stoddy. All the best, Rebecca, for your battle. There's young Tian McKenna, 16 years old. Older sister also plays in the W League. Letitia with the Brisbane Roar. And of course, by moving to Brisbane, it means that the 2 sisters missed out on getting to play W League in the same team at the same time. But well, she was the best player at the Junior National Championships as a young teen. She's still pretty young now, so let's see what she can do tonight as part of this Glory team. And the team photo for Melbourne City. Melissa Barbieri remains in goal. Tegan Micah, that knee injury still keeping her out of the side, unfortunately. See the number 11 Dobson there, getting ready for what is going to be her final game. Scored the winner against Perth in Melbourne City's last start. She'll be hoping that her very last appearance, 109, can bring an addition to her 13 career goals across a career that's stretched a long time, starting at the Newcastle Jets and then winning 2 championships with Melbourne City. And the referee is going to insist on a change of ends here. So Melbourne City will be attacking the left of your screens in this first half. Perth don't know, they're still in their huddle. Caitlin Douglas there, a player who is familiar with Victoria. She actually spent a season in Melbourne playing for Alamein in the NPL. She scored 2 goals this year, and for goal-shy Perth, it makes her their equal top scorer. How she would love to add to her tally. Perth Glory trying to avoid joining Newcastle as the only team since the W League went to a 12-game season to go through it winless. They won't end up with the worst ever record. Newcastle's goal difference in drawing 1 and losing 11 back in 2014 was considerably worse. Players like Malia Steinmetz, though, will be desperate for not just their first W League goal, but a first win. Kiwi International yet to taste either. As we get underway here in Endeavour Hills and Melbourne City's final game of the season, Perth Glory's penultimate game. Neither team can make the finals, and Perth Glory already locked into last place. As we welcome Melbourne Victory captain Angie Beard. And Angie, still plenty of interest in this game given some of the personal angles and also the pride factor that goes into a game like this.
Hey Terry, yeah, it's great to be here and great that the rain's actually held up for this game. Obviously still an exciting game. Perth play a very physical battle, whereas City keep it more strategy-wise and more technical. So I'm very excited to see this battle between the 2.
Riley Dobson getting involved, pressing from the front straight away. Interesting to see that she appears to have been deployed as a centre forward tonight, which was a role that she played a lot at Newcastle, has almost exclusively been a winger in her time at Melbourne City, as we see an early sighter from Lowry that's nowhere near the target. And the teenage midfielder who is one of the few players to score a goal for Perth this season. Again, just getting a feel for what is actually quite a heavy surface. It's lush and it's green, but it's actually going to take a bit of work to run up and back over the course of this evening. And you mentioned the weather, Angie. It was really heavy rain during the day, but we kick off in setting sun and quite mild and nice conditions now. This long ball is aiming for Tori Tumeth, but Wallhead's got the angles covered. Gets it back to Lily Allfeld for her first touch. Now a midfield battle, Nurekov against Sarah Morgan. TJ Flanage, put in possession by the Perth captain, Natasha Rigby. And now Steinmetz just calms things down. Oh, maybe doesn't calm things down with the back pass that makes Wallhead work. He's able to keep it moving out to the left, and Deborah Ann Delahart. Both teams just trying to assert themselves on the game in these opening exchanges. Leah Davidson now with a pass that's intercepted. Douglas with a potentially dangerous back pass, nearly a gift for Riley Dobson in her farewell game. Bit of a hectic opening back and forth here, Angie.
Yeah, very loud from both teams, and already a physical battle with Rigby taking out Blanett here in the corner.
This is Emma Checker. Hitting a long ball and hoping Dobson's pace can make this a contest, but well covered by Elizabeth Anton, one of the other Kiwi players in the team, sending it out for a throw. You've been in the league for a very long time, Angie, playing against Riley Dobson. What does it mean to see a player like her waving goodbye at the age of just 28?
Yeah, she's been very impressive over the past decade with Newcastle Jets and with City. She earned a couple call-ups into camp with the national team, and yeah, she's just a great person to have on your team, very positive and very influential.
Riley Dobson was actually a member of that Newcastle team that set the record for the worst 12-game season, and ironically was actually called into the Matildas team at the end of it, winning a one and only cap in Brisbane against Brazil. Still makes her part of that very exclusive club to have played for the senior national team. It was a warm-up friendly for the 2014 Asian Cup, perhaps just as notable for the departure of Hesperine de Royce and the appointment of Alan Stargic. Here's TJ Blanich running out of room, and it's a chance for us to welcome to the broadcast for the first time tonight Archie Thompson at pitch level. Archie, hello.
Hey, Theo, yeah, amazing night for football. With this pitch, obviously, it's quite compact, so both teams need to get the ball down and pass it around. But for Perth, I know that they're quite a young team. Just speaking with the manager before this game, it's about them keeping the core of the youth and obviously starting probably better pre-season and competition next season. I know that they've been hampered, obviously, with the COVID restrictions more than probably any other W League team. And I guess for Melbourne City, it's they've had a number of good performances over the last few weeks, so it's probably just ending the season well.
How was Alex Apakis pre-game? Obviously, he's come from an environment, Archie, where he wins almost every week in the New South Wales NPL, and now he's with a team that hasn't won a game all season. How's it weighed on him this year? Well,
look, it's obviously he just said that hopefully next year when he comes back he'll be smiling a lot more. I know that this season particularly has been probably challenging, but you're going to have those, I suppose, as moments of managing teams and also players.
We'll stay with play here as Davidson had designs on the top corner but couldn't keep it down. Tenacious work from Blanich on the wing to set up a little half chance.
Yeah, just a fortunate bounce there for TJ. First thought was just get the ball in the box, and it's great to see an ambitious shot there by Leah Davidson.
Yet to score for Melbourne City, just the one goal in their time at Brisbane Roar. One of a number of players who would have come down to Melbourne hoping to turbocharge their career, maybe take that next step towards the Matildas. Be the judge at home if you feel as though that's been the case this year. Here's another of the young brigade, Naomi Chinema, playing it out to Tori Chimeth. And finds the player of the moment, Dobson, up against Wallhead. Physical work done there by Tori Chimeth. If you want more context around the Riley Dobson situation, the journalist Joey Lynch wrote a great article about it during the week. Just go find it in Twitter, talking about Riley's decision to retire and her relationship with partner Matt, why now is the time to pull the pin. You can keep it open on your phone while you watch the game. More physical stuff from Rigby. This time it's Nurekov coming across to make the challenge. Game number 61 tonight for Tash Rigby. Like a number of Perth players, has never scored a W League goal. There's quite a few out there tonight who would love to break their duck. City with a bit of time to breathe here. The Perth press not the most aggressive. Johnson and Chinamar working it around the defence. Chimeth. And now into space for Chidiac, and able to evade Della Harp immediately. The defender does well to get back goal side. Davidson opens the body. Lowry made a challenge. Dobson holding it up. And a shallow pass, but Chimeth wins the ball. Chidiac, and no real conviction. It wasn't a pass or a shot in the end.
I spoke to Alex Chidiac before the game. She sounded very hungry, very determined to get something out of this last game for Melbourne City. I'm surprised she didn't pull the trigger there, but on a non-dominant right foot, maybe she had second thoughts.
And of course, for those of you wondering at home, where's Jenna McCormick tonight? We've talked at length about her potentially playing hurt, as we see Rado Vidizic, the Melbourne City coach there. She's out with tonsillitis tonight, so not one of the various ailments or afflictions that she's had in games this season. You and I seem to have seen her get injured every time we've commentated, Angie, but unfortunately tonight it's actually the illness that's ruled her out of the team. Shinatsu Kira scored the match-winning goal against Newcastle last weekend. Davidson. City happy to own the ball at the moment. Checker. Flipping it into space, setting Vlanic a task. And it does hold up on the lush surface right down in the corner. Vlanic, just a chip shot into the penalty area. And then that pass from Checker, not able to repeat what had been created just a moment ago. Allfeld still has to be accurate with the clearance. Moreno able to outmuscle Checker. Lowry. Douglas unable to get it past Johnson, who went to ground but got the ball. And with no Jenna McCormick tonight, a lot more responsibility goes on to Sam Johnson. Will be interesting to see what her future holds. She came out of retirement to play this season. If that means she's got the bug and she'll play on, or go back into retirement afterwards. Lowry and McKenna. Checker, only a shallow clearance. Davidson straight to Rigby. Della Harp. And now the flag goes up for offside. So even though Larry flipped it onto the roof of the net, Daniel Anderson, the assistant referee there, flagging 16-year-old McKenna in an offside position. First time we've really seen a promising build-up from Perth, though. They have been happy to yield possession pretty much all night up until now.
Yeah, just a bit of ball playing around the box there, trying to get themselves a gap, a bit of penetration through that City back three. And yeah, it's unfortunate that they had an offside there, because I thought they were looking more and more confident there.
Alex Epakis not really giving much away on the Perth bench. And now Perth will be happy that their press has been able to force an error and they win the ball back in their attacking half. Quick header on by Moreno. Underhit pass from Johnson. Steinmetz straight in on Eckhoff. Now Lowry able to step through a number of challenges. Chinamar tried to explode out of defence but gave the ball away. Rigby. Eckhoff right on her case. Now Checker trying to pick a pass. Chidiac. Wallhead made a contest and well defended by Isabella Wallhead. Chidiac straight back in, winning the ball. Dealt with late by Morgan, but play continues. Rather than use the keeper, Perth are happy to spray it wide and play down the right wing to get out of trouble. Steinmetz and Douglas a neat 1-2. Errant touch from Checker opens the door for Lowry, and then played over the top into the path of McKenna. takes a touch. What's the left foot like? Oh, it's gone wide. Thought that was in for half a second there. Tian McKenna missing the target in the end. What a great chance for Perth.
Excellent forward ball there by Lowry. Very dangerous with that left foot. She's got amazing range there from the midfield. And Letitia on her non-dominant left foot, putting a shot away, and not as far away as it looked on camera.
You could just tell from the first touch, though, the confidence wasn't there in the left, really, Angie, was it? I was expecting a first-time shot and maybe just trying to get everything right to hit it on the left peg, and it just didn't quite come off.
Yeah, it's not something common you see nowadays, is the dual-footed player, but it's great to see that she got the shot away at all.
Chimeth. Melbourne City on notice. Best chance of the night going Perth's way. Can they answer right here? Dobson on the wing. Wallhead has been up to the task of defending so far tonight. And again, right on the case. Has started sharply. Isabella Wallhead, the Perth number 16. Throw in taken quickly. Chimeth. Chinamar. City happy to slow things down and have Checker reset. Perth aren't pushing their defence out too hastily here. Now Checker tries to link up with the Blanich down the left, but this time there are numbers aplenty for the Glory. Anton's pass sold Douglas into trouble. Blanich gets another chance. Ricochets ensue. And Kira, snapping at the heels of Lowry, eventually gets Perth out of trouble with a free kick against. Former Japanese international Chinatsu Kira, with just the one goal this season, probably would have expected to come into a super team. Walked into anything but. Now Melissa Barbieri. Not really even had to say her name tonight. It's like things are just back to normal. Melissa Barbieri goalkeeping in the W League. And that defensive deflection is going to call Wallhead into action again, but immediately onto the pass, and then a 1-2 with Allfeld to lose the attentions of Dobson, and then tries to turn defence into attack. Here goes Morgan against Chinamar. And Chinamar is able to see it out for a goal kick. Naomi Chinamar starting to really find her feet at W League level, which is great to see. Is going to be on the ball here again. Centre of defence. You can hear the instructions from Melissa Barbieri saying, "You don't need me." So Johnson decides to find an outfield teammate, Checker. Blaney plays it back to Checker. Just a long string of passes around their defensive third, Melbourne City. Let's see if they can now launch into an attack, and they've been able to create space for Blanich to roam into. One-on-one initially against Rigby, and then puts it into the side netting. TJ Blanich's only W League goal was against Perth Glory. Not able to recreate it here.
Melbourne City again finding Blanich in a bit of space out wide here. Checker's found her a number of times, and now Sam Johnson finding her and getting a shot away, just trying to put some pressure on Lily Allford back there.
And Archie, on the sideline, you've got an update for us.
Yeah, Theo, look, I think for both teams, they play a similar formation, the back three, the same with City. So it's almost got to be one of those players that inject into the midfield and almost open up the space for the out wide. Angie touched on it. Blanich has got acres of space if they can just find that ball out here. And for Perth, they're probably not real mobile up front, so it's important that for City they move the ball quickly and like I say, inject into the midfield, open that space out wide.
This time they'll probe the right flank. Chimeth able to win possession, cuts it back, Dobson, and then hooked away by Wallhead. Blanich is going to try and keep the heat on, and that pass won't do it. Lowry runs into trouble. And Archie, just one other question. You've been a keen follower of Naomi Chinamar ever since she made her debut, but she's already, it's only game 4 or 5, looking a lot more composed tonight.
Yeah, but and I think that's the partnership that she has, obviously having someone experienced like Sam Johnson next to her and Emma Checker. It's about them also coaching in that position. I felt like maybe when she started, she didn't have that, and she just looked a bit out of place or didn't seem to get into structure really well. But that's, I guess, learning the game, and it's her first time in probably a professional setup. But I've been so impressed over the last few weeks about her reading the game, knowing the position, and you know what, Angie probably knows a lot in that position. You need to have that leadership, especially with young players coming through.
And now, again, City getting some joy through this left flank. Vlanich has crossed Dobson, and off the defender, Wallhead sees it back to the keeper. No thoughts of the back pass. Always hard to take that on the instep, a shot like that.
A great threatening ball here by Vlanich. Just a nice attacking run there by Riley. I wish she had a bit more contact on the ball there, but great defending there by Perth.
Some great points made by Archie Thompson there about Naomi Chinamar coming into the W League as a 16-year-old in the deep end at centre-back. It's a position where Australia certainly needs a bit of help. Douglas crossing the ball in, deflected to the top of the box. Now Chidiac is able to get away, trying to launch an end-to-end counter here. Only one player ahead of the ball for her, though. Now Kira was trying to lend support. Skimmed off the studs of one of the players, so the pass was redirected. And it's out for a throw.
The W League's kind of going in phases, where there was that time about 10 years ago when Caitlin Ford was debuting, Sam Kerr was debuting. They came into the league very young at 15, 16, and then there was a patch there where the league average age became higher, and now with a lot of the national team searching in Europe, searching overseas for other opportunities, you're seeing that phase again where younger players have the opportunity to start, to get signed to W League contracts.
So you see the ball out to the right here. Well, and I think that's when Melbourne City go away and assess what's gone wrong this season, why they weren't able to defend their title. I would encourage them to go down the path of signing more Naomi Chinamars, more young locals, rather than seeking to bring players in from interstate. Maybe throw a couple more kids in the deep end like Naomi Chinamar, and they might bear results and come through as a class together rather than simply one. Ball there to be won in midfield. Davidson is going to sweep onto the ball. Here is the aforementioned Naomi Chinamar. Sam Johnson. Neither team's really on top, are they, Angie? You'd say City have had the majority of possession, but Perth have had the best actual chance on goal.
Yeah, it seems fairly even. It started very hectic, very transitional, but it's definitely settled down to a bit of a slower pace than the start.
Yeah, I suggest the slower pace will probably suit Perth, because transition has been City's main weapon this season. Vlanich this time trapped in the defensive half, not getting away further up the pitch. And it seems as though Caitlin Douglas has been assigned to just be a bit more defensively accountable to TJ Vlanich now whenever City attack. Pulls over on the opposite flank for now, though. Tumeth raking cross. No one in particular in the penalty area, though, and that's easy pickings for Orfeld. He's been one of a number of players the New Zealand coach Tom Samani's been keeping his eye on. This Perth team has probably been one of the main focuses for him through the course of the year. Johnson goes to ground, unkind deflection. McKenna back to Lowry, and then another deflection takes the ball out for the first corner of the game. And Johnson may have thought when the ball went straight back to Perth feet that City were in trouble there, but the covering defenders were able to scramble it out.
It might even be the surface where Sam Johnson is used to being a physical player, slide tackling, timing it to perfection, and she just seemed to get caught up a bit there, and the ball ricochets to a very unfavourable position for Melbourne City.
Here comes the corner then. No one really attacked the ball except for Johnson, and now Lowry into traffic. It's blocked away. Lowry again. Oh, it needed a touch from Rigby. It was always going wide, and instead the shot went true and out.
Melbourne City just doing a bit of scramble defence there, getting bodies in front of the ball. And yeah, if Tash Rigby had a look over her shoulder and saw where the goal position was, maybe she puts a little flick on it.
The first goal is so important in this game. They've met 12 times in the W League, and the team scoring first has won every single one of them. They've never played a draw, so the value of the first goal when these two teams go head-to-head is obvious. Johnson commanding the ball from Eckhoff there. Knew that there was space through this right side. Davidson. Now Chidiac. A lot of City players hanging off the last defender here, but waiting for the pass to arrive. Dobson now. Crowd rises, but again, no real elevation behind the shot. It's on target, but it's comfortable for the goalkeeper.
Chidiac finding a lovely little gap there for Dobson. Perth, just dropping back, trying to delay play, and yeah, affecting the shot there by Riley Dobson.
I know this is an issue that's affected a number of teams. In fact, you probably have to say these two more than any, but just the absence of an out-and-out recognised striker is so apparent for both teams. Perth are playing effectively an attacking midfielder in Moreno at the top of the line. Lowry's not really a forward either. Douglas is an improvised midfielder who's got forward this season. And Melbourne City, their lack of a number 9 has been obvious this season. They're playing Dobson there tonight, but it's definitely not her strongest position. As we see Eckhoff win possession here. Checker. Kira. Eckhoff. You can tell she was apprehensive about going forward there, and the pass reflected that.
Yeah, just a bit of miscommunication there between Kira and Eckhoff. Actually, I heard before the game they got lost on the way travelling here, so I think there was a bit of miscommunication there as well.
Well, I mentioned this on air last time. If you do try to come to this ground, Google Maps will give you a bum steer. It'll send you to a closed road. So, for the second time, I'm going to say this. Updated Google Maps. People want to come to the football. Archie, were you able to get here without getting lost this time? I know that you came a cropper last time we sent you to this venue.
Yeah, I found my way. I didn't actually go onto the Google Maps. I found my way. I'm pretty good like that. But I'll just quickly say, though, for Melbourne City, it's this sort of injection in the midfield that I want to see a little bit more of. I know that Eckhoff's got opportunities to turn and go forward. I'd probably like to see her do that, because when they do go into that space, it certainly opens up the field, and that's when they can start to attack. And I think for Perth, Moreno probably just needs to sit a little bit higher, stay in that position, because when they do go forward...
Here's Dobson being played through by Chidiac. Bit of an ankle breaker there as she stopped short and then can't take the ball with her. McKenna back into challenge. And again, the fans that are here tonight were rising as she went into the penalty area.
Yeah, just like Archie mentioned, that injection of midfield, Alex Chidiac just weaving and winding her way out of a bit of trouble and putting that ball through for Riley Dobson again.
City have left numbers forward. Chinamar. Can she swing in the right cross? Wallhead is able to send it behind for a corner kick. It's only her 9th W League appearance tonight, Isabella Wallhead, but I've got to say, Angie, I've been impressed with her so far.
Yeah, she's showing a lot of composure, a lot of confidence, and I'm hearing a lot out of her in terms of communication, which is absolutely key for a centre defender.
Only 18 years old. So here comes the corner kick, Chidiac to take. Honing right in on the target and then bending it too far, and out it goes for a corner. For a goal kick, I should say. Chidiac will be disappointed with that. Speaking of Alex Chidiac, saw news today, Mel Andretta, one of the Matildas' assistant coaches, in a press conference saying that only European-based players will be used for the upcoming friendly against Germany. So it means that unless Alex Chidiac can sign a pro deal and get over to Europe in the next week or so, she's not going to make the squad, and I guess due to COVID restrictions, quarantine, borders. It makes sense, Angie, but it'd still be a disappointment to hear, oh, the Matildas have got a friendly, but I am not going to be considered for selection.
Yeah, it's incredibly disappointing, and when I saw the news, when a lot of the girls saw the news, it was just, it felt absolutely unreal that you're working so hard in the W League, you're performing game in, game out, and that's what you're striving for, a national team call-up, a national team camp, and to have that news where you're not in contention for selection, and it's more so just the European players who already are on the Matildas radar are consistently playing. The girls who need the recognition, who need that chance, are here in Australia playing the W League.
Maybe, you can only hope that it may lead to additional friendlies being booked in the future. Where's New Zealand? Get them on the blow. We'll play a match in Germany and a match here. No, but it's a very good point. Obviously, the W League was started off the back of a World Cup and an Olympics where there needed to be greater exposure for Matilda's contention and selection. It's grown into a league where teams play for results, where teams want to win the trophy, but we're only 13 years in, and it's worth remembering it was largely started to assist the selection process for the Matildas. Johnson plays it to Chinema. And loading up. Well, a ball that may well have found Tyler Blanich in an earlier minute of this match, but Blanich was back almost on the halfway line when that pass got struck. Moreno. And our central referee, Kate Jakovic, tonight, who has barely been noticed in this match, just the best in the business. This time paying a foul. Of course, Jakovic, who has refereed a number of A-League games as well, has been a FIFA referee doing youth tournaments and Women's World Cups for such a long time now. One of our great football exports, really. Great to see she's still got that connection right here with the W League. Davidson plays it into space. Neither Dobson or Tumeth are going to be able to chase this one down, though. They have seemed to work out, City, that Perth are exploitable with this ball over the top. It's not something you associate with Melbourne City too often, long balls into space, but they're definitely giving it a go tonight.
Yeah, it's good intent there by Leah Davidson, and if Riley Dobson was a smidge faster, a smidge closer, maybe it eventuates to something.
Here's Della Harp, doubled back, maybe when just needed a bit more of a thrust forward instead. Morgan to Rigby, and now Melbourne City have got both their defence and midfield back in position. There's a grab of the shirt. Kira is going to use the advantage to the fullest extent before the referee brings play back. It was a promising enough start to the move from Della Harp, but as soon as she broke stride and held up, you just felt like the chance was gone for Perth to strike first in this goalless game. And now the combination of Checker and Blanich links up once again. Blanich decelerated right down, but Chidiac made the pass work. Not the 1-2 though. Johnson. Someone's lost a shin guard there. And as Johnson, it seems, is going to have to tuck it back in. She gets an opportunity. Checker. Chidiac. See Johnson holding the shin guard on the ball. Able to keep play going. Trying to multitask. See there. Johnson just keeping hold of it. Had a couple of touches the ball in this phase of play since it happened. And here's another one. Now Eckhoff. Quite the play of Melbourne City scoring on the end of this one. Davidson, not for the first time tonight, streaking into open space, and then Wallhead proves impassable once again. Checker. Blanich cutting in. Able to beat two defenders initially. Steinmetz was one too many. Still able to squeeze across through, but Anton is all over it. And then can't connect the pass. And update on the shin guard. Sam Johnson has just tucked it back in, so he's got all the equipment back in order. Playing the ball to Davidson here. Has that ever happened to you, Angie, losing a shin guard or a boot and then having to still run around and keep playing until the ball goes out?
No, I've been lucky in that regard. I've had a couple players snap hairbands, which is never good news, just trying to run and not see.
That's an errant pass, opening the door for Lowry. Eckhoff, full-blooded challenge, able to win the ball back and defuse the attack for Perth.
Play feet. Play something out.
Chimac. Chimac trying to ghost in from behind Wallhead, but the goalkeeper has the sit. Able to launch a clearance away. Morgan, glancing header on. It's going to work out well for McKenna. Looked up and didn't like any of the options, though, so it goes back. Anton. Ambitious pass intercepted by Blanich. And just puts that right into the shoulder of Steinmetz, who doesn't even flinch.
You have to tuck in.
Okay, Jack goes over and makes sure Steinmetz is okay, but it wasn't a blow to the head. As we take another closer look. Right on the shoulder there. Now Steinmetz is engaged straight into some defending and wins the ball. Game's now just meandering, isn't it, Angie? Neither team's really on top.
Yeah, we just need one of the teams to string some passes together, get some intent again behind their balls and behind any balls that are trying to penetrate the line. Similar to a ball like this.
Shinemar has to deal with the challenge of McKenna, but had Tumeth for help. Johnson to Checker. Shinemar, dangerous pass. Lowry. Now Moreno, back to goal though. Morgan. That's a runner to break down the left and puts McKenna into a little bit of space, but Tumeth has got the angles covered. Delaharp is going to drive it from deep and put it well across the face. Never really in danger of scoring.
When the ball goes back, we get up.
Just take another look here, Angie, at some defensive work here from Norekov.
Yeah, it needed to be put in and it needed to be placed and timed to perfection. Hannah Lowry's been very dangerous in transition for Perth this year, and yeah, Noor Eckhoff just doing enough to stop that.
The young Dane, you wonder if this will be her last appearance in City colours as well, or if we'll ever see her back in the W League again. Blanich. Eckhoff. Shinemar. And as that pass is overhit, let's go down to Archie Thompson.
Thanks, Per. Yeah, I've just been watching Alexa Marino. I know that just watching her over the last few games, even in the warm-up, her quality and technique is fantastic, even her power on the ball. But I'm just watching her runs, and sometimes if you're going to play in that high forward position, I think you just need to be aware of what your positioning is. Sometimes she just floats into the midfield, and then when they go forward, she's nowhere near the play. And I know that she's slowly come back into the W League, but that's something that maybe she needs to work on, because I've seen her strengths and her quality when she has the ball, and the fact that she's not getting enough of the ball is because maybe of that game sort of awareness. So I think that's something she could work on going forward, hopefully in this game.
It's a good point, Archie, because she's not a natural centre forward and has scored just the 2 goals, hasn't scored a W League goal since January 2019. So both a lack of game time and also playing more of a midfield role is definitely a factor in that. But I guess when a player, Archie, is being asked to play out of position, especially when it's up top, what are the main things that they don't do, which a striker instinctively does?
Well, I think it's just running off the shoulders and in behind. I know Moreno probably hasn't got the speed and agility to be able to do that, but then you've got to affect the game in another way by maybe being that link-up player where you've got your back sort of facing away from goal, but you're bringing other players in. And that's kind of hard if you're not sort of used to that position, but it certainly helps if you do play out of position just to know that you're agile and you're adaptable and you can play in certain positions which certainly helps the manager. So I feel like it helps, but I guess if you're not used to that, I know being a high striker, you've got to have all those capabilities of running off, link-up play, and she'll only grow when she plays in that position.
Certainly a case, Archie, they're both on the field and on the bench. Perth just don't have a natural player who's used to playing that sort of role. So whoever they try there is going to be improvising to an extent. And that's a clumsy challenge from Morgan. And the Canberran is going to get her first booking of the game for either team.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of work sneakily in the game, just defending, blocking runs, but yeah, just putting a bit too much into that tackle on Alex Chidiac.
Morgan, who made her W League debut for Canberra, but after a couple of years out of the mix, has had to go west to get a full season. She'll be happy with that before going back to New South Wales, where she plays for Sydney Uni. It's one of a number of young guns that have come through under Ray Dower, some of who this season are now either breaking through or experiencing a revival. That is a dangerous back pass. Moreno, no support. Play comes to a halt, and City are not made to pay for giving the ball up. At least not yet. Anton, Lowry, and then Chinamar to Dobson, starting very deep. Has it all to do and is moving laterally. That's a very kind deflection, almost for Blainage. And Rigby drives it away. Chinamar. Bit of a let-off there for City Angie, but I guess Perth don't have a player that's kind of lightning quick and is going to speed away like, say, a Briley Henry for Western Sydney Wanderers, who it could well have been a different situation if it's a player like that on the end of an errant pass.
A bit too casual there from Chinamar on that occasion, and Lex Moreno read it to perfection, but yeah, you're spot on there. We just need that transitional play where it's a Caitlin Douglas or even McKenna on the wides looking a bit pacey.
Just wonder if Moreno just glanced up for half a second, and Melissa Barbieri was obviously standing in the right position to discourage just having a pop at goal. As we see right on cue here, Douglas is making a bit more of a venturing run, but it's been cleared away by Checker for a throw. You hear the shout there, Dougie, great run. So we're ticking down towards half-time. Perth Glory have not kept a clean sheet away from home for 20 straight games. They haven't kept a clean sheet for 27 consecutive games. Not to try and talk the ball into the back of the net here. Perth haven't kept a clean sheet away from home since December 2017. So if they walk away tonight with their defence intact, they'll certainly be breaking a lengthy streak. I was there. It was a weird game. I think it was a Friday 5 p.m. kickoff at Marconi. Bobby Despotovsky was raging about it. And of course, the goal scorer was Sam Kerr. Here's Checker, trying to thread the ball through the left. Rigby back to Allfeld. She'd love to get her first W League clean sheet as well, the Kiwi goalkeeper. Douglas. See some of the subs warming up in the background there for Glory. Their bench tonight. Rebecca Bennett, their backup goalkeeper. Sarah Carroll, a defender. Patricia Charolambis, a wide defender or midfielder. Mariana Tabane, who will be making her 100th appearance if she gets subbed on tonight. And Katarina Jukic, another attacker. Of course, they have to play again on Sunday, so Perth will be mindful of managing their squad as well. Although if they were setting themselves to try and win a game, tonight's the night. I think Sunday is going to be a far tougher proposition as I stand next to the captain of the very team they're going to be playing against. Angie, I'm not going to put you in any awkward positions having to talk disparagingly about your upcoming opponent, don't worry. With that said, how difficult has the week been? We'll just watch this phase of play. Dobson is legged. Chidiac cutting in, trying to open space here for a shot, Chidiac. It might fall to Chinatsu Kira. Alfield feet first, good save. And the follow-up denies Dobson, then Chidiac. Pinball madness in the penalty area, and it's cleared away. Somehow, Melbourne City did not score. Morgan has to be careful. Only player on the pitch on a yellow card, putting in challenges. And now Moreno, block tackle on Checker. The game is finding the extra gear it's so desperately needed for a few minutes here, Angie.
Wow, Melbourne City had a few bites there of the cherry, and just the scramble defence there by Perth Glory to keep the ball out of the net was incredible. Just that bit of energy, that bit of hunger where you just didn't want them to score, you didn't want them to finish. And Riley Dobson, one of the Melbourne City players who had a shot there, wouldn't that have been a fairy tale?
Can they load up and strike again while they've got Perth on the ropes here? Chidiac. Now Dobson. Chimeth wants the pass. Dobson eventually gives the ball, and Chinema back to Checker. Chinema will probe forward. Dobson, Davidson. Perth just can't put a foot on the ball at the moment. Checker directing traffic. Tries to clip it into the pocket for Chidiac, but that's well defended by Anton. And clever from Delaharp just to use the momentum of Davidson against her. Douglas caught in possession. Davidson trying to turn provider for Dobson. Out on the wing. Riley's got options in the box. Flies over all of them, and then Kira hooks the shot and it goes wide.
Yeah, you can see here Melbourne City shot after shot after shot. Lily Alfred good to get up onto her feet again after that first save, but just the scramble defence by Perth Glory centre-backs. Fantastic work. And just Kira here, she probably thought she could have hit it first time. Miss hit on the surface. There could have been a bobble, a slip, but with Kira's quality, you'd hope that she'd get that on frame.
So Perth trying to hold out until half-time. I was going to ask you before all that chaos unleashed on us there, Angie, how's the reaction been for the Victory team this week? Of course, your match against Sydney was called off due to the heavy rain, and you had to come home without a game getting played.
Yeah, it's completely unpredictable this season, unfortunately for us. We found out about 3 or 4 hours before the original kickoff was scheduled that our game was cancelled, and we only found out yesterday that our game would be moved until next Wednesday, which isn't ideal if the results go in our favour to be playing a semi-final 3 or 4 days later.
Even second first time in a couple of years after it happened with the Lightning game. Were you at Victory then for the Lightning game against Canberra? And then you had to
Canberra.
But at least by then you'd tied up the Premier's plate so you could rotate the team a bit that you took up to play the catch-up.
Yeah, I wouldn't forget that game. I played centre-back with Annabelle Martin. We combined were probably the shortest centre-back partnering in history of the W League.
Shout out to Annabelle. If she's out there, I guess we miss you in the W League. She's had injury issues that scuppered her season with Newcastle last campaign. Haven't seen her this season either. Hopefully she's back before too long. And offside. Belated call. That's Janelle Samet, best in the business over on the outer side. So we're ticking towards stoppage. You wouldn't think there'd be too much of it at the end of this first half. Who's been the better team, Angie?
Oh, that's a hard question, but if we take into consideration the last 10 minutes, Melbourne City have really been putting the pressure on Perth Glory to try and get that goal.
They may yet, thanks to that shanked kick, may yet be able to create. Vlanich. And cleared away by Rigby. Wanted to get a throw, but the assistant referee was flagging City's way. Dobson to Davidson. They might just do it here, you know. Tumeth. Now back to Davidson. Quick turn. And well played, not for the first time in this half by Wallhead to close the angles and get the Glory to half-time 0-0. They're trying to take their name out of the history books, the Glory, for all the wrong reasons, and they might just be halfway there. Alex Chidiac among a number of City players in a bit of pinball madness that was unable to break the deadlock in this first half. Perth's best chance fell to Hannah Lowry, and also another for Tian McKenna. But in neither instance were they able to actually sting the gloves of Melissa Barbieri. And so it means at half-time here at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex, we're yet to get a goal. It is Melbourne City 0, Perth Glory 0. And as both teams make their way off, plenty to ponder. The last thing they would have wanted tonight is a 0-0 draw. These are the two most goal-shy teams in the W League. Historically bad, to be honest. They would be just the 6th